Hey guys, Colleen Gallagher here with Colleen Gallagher International. When you join, say hello. And if you're watching the replay, say #replay. I'm super excited to come on and do another live. I had so much fun with you guys yesterday talking about relationships and aliens. And today I have a little bit more of a serious topic that I want to talk about on this live that I want to have a conversation with. And so this is for you if you're someone who's kind of into politics or political events, and usually as aliens we are a little bit involved or we care because we had a social kind of injustice happen to us in the biggest way, right? If you've had something kind of socially wrong happen to become empowered is to begin speaking about it and to make a difference about it. And usually that, somewhat within your government or community service or giving back. And so anyway, this live is going to be on abortion. And so as many of you know, I'm very open about it. I had an abortion. The fetus was 5 weeks old. And I go through that story here: overcome trauma and heartbreak, experience the unexplainable, and truly fall in love. This is my book, An Uncompromised Life. You can get it on Amazon, Target, anywhere, really, if you just Google it, and my website if you want a signed copy. But I want to go into it because this is a topic that I know is very controversial, and even I do have a more conservative view on abortion. But I really just want to have a conversation because I know that a lot's happening, and I want to kind of relate it as well to the awakening and the aliens and, why is this happening? Why is this conversation being had now? And why is it being leaked and all the things? So anyway, first I'm going to go into my story of abortion, and I hope for any woman or man who's out there, I know a lot of men, you've shared with me, your partner has gone through it or you've made that decision with your partner. I want this just to be a live where you feel like you have a support system, like you're not alone in that decision, because I know it's not an easy decision. And so I had thyroid cancer at age 14. So I have a second scar in my neck. I call it my second smiley face. I was blessed to be so happy and have two. And from my two smiley faces, I was told I'd be on medication every day for the rest of my life, and that when I wanted to have children, it would be challenging for me. Now, your thyroid, just to educate everyone, is what produces hormones in your body. So technically, if a woman, I have half of my thyroid, but if I have half of a thyroid, I shouldn't technically be producing the hormones needed to hold and carry a baby. When you're taking the pill a day that you're supposed to be taking, it's supposed to produce the hormones that regulate the amount of hormones your body needs. Well, when I moved to New Zealand back in 2017, I totally left Western medicine, meaning I don't function in Western medicine. If I feel sick, if I feel unwell, I don't go to a Western medicine doctor. I tune into my emotions. I use Eastern philosophies. That's just the way that I, function. I don't have anything against Western medicine. I think it's a beautiful tool. That's just, the way that I've lived my life. So, okay. So anyway, once this happened, right, I lived my life and I'd never had any issues with, I guess, becoming pregnant, because I never did. And I was always, like I've told you guys before, I've always been the girl that has like one serious kind of boyfriend. I'm a relationship girl. I mean, I'm single, but I like to have like my one person. I really, really do. It just provides security for me. And I don't know, I love it. So I fell in love back in 2019. And with that man, we would both make jokes about babies and different things. And he doesn't really function or believe in like manifestation or intuition or anything like this. But basically I wound up pregnant, and I really loved the man, which is ironic because there's another man that I was seeing at the same time that I really loved as well. And if the other man actually would have got me pregnant, I would have had the child, which is pretty insane. But anyway, so I went through, kind of this dialogue by myself. I didn't talk to the man about it. I didn't tell him I was pregnant. And I chose to have an abortion. Like I said, it was 5 days after my first missed period. So 5 weeks was how long the fetus was in me, right? And I actually knew before I went to the clinic, I knew I was pregnant, and they told me that I had to come back in a couple days. So it's actually pretty crazy because it's like if I was in Texas or Florida, it would have been cutting it pretty close if I would have had to listen to the clinic. So anyway, I knew that this is what I was going to do. I didn't love the man. I didn't see myself with like living a life that I loved. I didn't see myself happy. I didn't see myself when I was with this man as a woman I would be proud of to raise a kid with. Like, just nothing about him or the experience made me feel like it wanted to be the life that I wanted to live and wanted to remember and wanted to bring a child into. So I had the abortion. You take 2 pills And I went through it by myself. There was one girlfriend who came over for the second pill, which is the most painful pill. And it feels like an atomic bomb is kind of going off inside of you. And I say that like nicely, but it really does. It's one of the most painful things, and not to go through the emotional pain that also is caused during that time. So any of the men or women, I totally feel you if you've gone through that, not even just by choice, but medical reasons. And so that was that. And the man came back into my life, and I realized he actually had another woman pregnant at the same time that I did. And I don't think she knows still to this day, which is kind of interesting. And I ended up meeting the child he had with this other woman. And I was involved in the child's life and his life. And then obviously things ended because I found out he was actually, nothing really changed about him. And so I wanted just to talk about sharing my story. One, I want you to know that you're not alone. I remember when I was going through this, it was really, really hard. Like, it's easy for me to say abortion now, but you guys, I couldn't even say the word. Like, when I was in therapy actually for it, I would say like miscarriage. Like, I couldn't actually admit what I'd done. It was like so painful. And I had so much judgment around it, which now it's really funny where I'm not funny, but where I'm at in my life, it's like, wow, I'm just so grateful. I trusted myself, and I backed myself, and I believed in myself. And it's just funny that when we actually trust our intuition, like what happens. And one powerful quote that really got me through this, and if you're going through a time like this, like one powerful thing that got me through is, God sees things you didn't see. God hears things you don't hear. God knows things you don't know. And so when you feel something, if it was an abortion, that's what was right for you in your life, I want you to know that there will be a time when you feel complete and whole and at peace. However, the story that I birthed through this is that the fetus's name would have been Ella. Obviously, I didn't know the name. There was no way, but you can read the book to find out why or how those things came. And I will be adopting the fetus, Ella. She will be a soul that's incarnated through another woman. I believe she's not on the planet yet. She'll be in someone's womb, I think towards the end of this year. And then I'll adopt her later, next year, 2024. So I'm just so excited. I really created like this beautiful story. And I just want you to know that there's always another narrative with abortion. If you did have an abortion or child loss, that there's always ways to connect with them. I have a Christella crystal line. So if you go to my website, www.colleengallagher.co, you can go and there's rose quartz crystals, and that helps you connect with the soul and the spirit or the fetus of who has passed on. So that's kind of my story. And I want to share that I don't agree with, first of all, that the Supreme Court would leak this. Like, that seems like a really big mistake, like something that could just be leaked. And second of all, I want to talk about like in the Great Awakening, like something like abortion, having a topic like this. It's all part of the process of the awakening. Like, if you think of what we just went through, we just had like everything that happened, closure, everything. And now this, it's almost like it's like a nervous system roller coaster where everything is just being added to cause and instill so much fear and anger within people and causing separation. And so I just want you to know, wherever you land, like, you're not wrong for where you land on it, and you're not right. It just is your opinion, and I don't think it should be the reason that people are torn apart or people like don't see eye to eye on things. But what I do feel strongly about with abortion, or what I feel about with this, is that more than law, like law, right, law was created, or all these things, right, is created when we aren't doing the right thing, right? Like when we feel inside of us we aren't doing the right thing. And so when we feel that, like, right, when we know the action that I'm doing is not right, the action that I'm being isn't correct, the action of me moving forward isn't truth, that's when law steps in, right? And it's when you begin to make an habitual habit of doing something you're not meant to be doing, that law steps in. And so before we even get to law, let's say with abortion, like, I think let's take it back a layer and go like, are you being congruent with you? Are you doing what's right when no one's watching? And I knew when I was in this relationship that led to an abortion, right, I was doing a lot of things to please this man that I didn't want to do. So of course this happened, right? And if not, I mean, what would have happened, right, is probably like a child lawsuits and custody battles and whatever, like a million things I could think of. But law only steps in when we aren't being energetically aligned to who we're meant to be. And I think that's really challenging, because we're like, oh, the law will protect me. But it's like, what do you need to be protected from? Yourself? Because you are the creator of your reality. So why would you be in a situation where the law would need to be even implemented? that would kind of show that you're actually not living in alignment with who you're meant to become. And so the bigger question, like if you're drinking and driving, right? If the question is like, well, how much time am I going to get for drinking and driving? Well, the real question is, why were you drinking and driving? What's making you want to escape life so bad? What's the pain that you're holding, that you're running from, that's making you want to drink to then drive to put your life in danger, to put someone else's life in danger, to then punish yourself? And this is back to the live I did yesterday, when what if you were to live with pleasure instead of pain? And I feel with abortion, that was a huge thing that I learned. And this is also a teaching of Tantra. If you guys know Tantra, or you study Tantra, or you look at Tantra is you're able to transmute any energy. You're able to take something horrible and alchemize it. You're able to take something ugly and make it beautiful. And that's exactly what this book does. An Uncompromised Life. It helps you take whatever's inside of you and makes it a beautiful life. So anyway, my whole thoughts on what's happening with abortion on Roe versus Wade, on the Supreme Court, is I think it is a little bit of a distraction, right? Because everything's always returning us to look within, to return within, to look home. And the external world is only a reflection of what's happening in all of us collectively. So obviously, right, pro-abortion or not, it really has to do with pro-life or not. And if we actually look at living beings, right, what this is actually saying is, do we have an opportunity as human beings to live or not? Whether this is when you're in the womb or in the fetus or after. And right, majority of all of us, collective, unless we're aliens and into consciousness and in self-development, into education, which is not, the majority of the planet. More and more people are waking up every day. But right, if you're in that percentile, right, you're already in like one of the greatest success and fulfilled ways in life. So you would realize that this external reality of what's happening is just mirroring what so many people are feeling within, is that they don't have an opportunity to live. And that's the real thing that's going on. Yvonne, I'm so happy you're here. We're talking about abortion and what's going on. And I was saying, what's happening here is that the real thing that's going on with Roe versus Wade is that it's not an actual abortion of the fetus. It's that many people don't know how to communicate that they don't feel like they have a shot at life. They don't feel like they have an opportunity to live who it is they're meant to become. And so that's what's making this Roe versus Wade exacerbated, because we're blaming it on a fetus or on a womb of a woman, when in reality, it's men and women who feel like they don't have an opportunity to live their life. And now we're seeing this exacerbated in this, but I do want you all to know that it's not like trying not to argue. And I was talking about my book, An Uncompromised Life. Yvonne Dalefleur, if you guys do not know her, please follow her. She's an amazing person. And actually, talking about the womb and talking about things, she actually would support you with your child or with man or woman when you've gone through an abortion to recalibrate what's happened within you, hormonally, spiritually, energetically. So make sure to follow Yvonne Dalefleur. But what's even more important that I want to share, and I think it's with this, is that when I just had my policy course today, in my PhD class, that the Supreme Court leaking something, it's not that something can be leaked, right? There's not something that can be like, think of like a water bottle. Like water can't just leak out of a water bottle unless someone intentionally put a hole there. So obviously through consciousness, through awareness, through development, through ascending, right? Because planet Earth is like a third world country that's ascending to where we're actually supposed to be in the planetary system. If we're ascending that way, there was a leak on purpose because so many people are feeling pain. And from the pain that people are feeling, this is what's birthing the awareness of, wow, I'm going to blame it on woman or a fetus or abortion that I don't feel like I have an opportunity to live. So let me place that blame here. Let me place that blame wherever. When in reality, those of you who are here, what you can do as a leader, as an activator, as someone who believes in love, in consciousness, is go, I feel so much compassion. Hey, James. I feel so much compassion. I feel so much... James and Yvonne are both on at the same time. But I feel so much compassion for what's happening in this world. And that's been a big word for me lately. And I think a lot of you can leverage that, is where can my compassion be for all the pain that this world is feeling? They're feeling it in needing I don't want to say the word, but needing something with what happened with the health industry just now, like needing to get jabbed. There we go. Needing to get jabbed, or is it needing to get medication, or it's needing to get a surgery, or it's needing to have an abortion and blame women on this, or blame men for rape, or blame women for whatever. Like it's all these blaming. And I just think it's important for all of us to tune inward And from inward, whether it's abortion or whether it's love or divorce or jabs, like whatever the thing is that is troubling you, or it's troubling the people that you're around, is just being the leader of compassion and going in a private place. Like, so how this could happen if someone, like, I just had my PhD class and someone was saying, like, how could you not watch the media? The media is like, oh my God, like, how is there this much disparity on the media, right? And I'm thinking in my reality, like, I didn't say this, but in the course, I'm thinking like, oh my God, lady, you would hate to be in my circle. Like, no one in my circle watches the news. No one watches television. Like, this is wild, right? But the duality, what I said to her is like, wow, I just sent her so much peace. I sent her so much happiness because, right, the way she's coming from, you have to remember that after Hitler was here, he changed the frequency of the television and he changed the frequency of radio stations to be 440 hertz. 440 hertz is the activation of the nervous system. It's of like fear. So she's listening to something with fear. And from the place of fear, she's now communicating, oh my God, everyone should be like so afraid. Everyone should be like whatever that is. But like, how do you not watch the media? How do you not watch it? But she's literally, right, repeating the program coming into her, which is why social media is so powerful, which is why I love technology, because we can choose our circle. We can choose our information, the things that come within us to create forms within us. So we mate. It's like a mate, like we information. It's like an act of doing, right? And so I really just wanted to come on and share this about my abortion. I've never shared it so publicly like this or gone through unless you've read the book. So make sure you get the book, An Uncompromised Life. But I want you to know in this time, don't get so caught up in the media. Don't get so caught up in the anger. Don't get so caught up in like what's going to happen. I promise you, I promise you, even when something terrible happens, the point of being an alien, which you can go and watch my Q&A from yesterday, the point of being an alien, the point of why you're here, the point of why you found me is because you are remembering that you are here for a specific mission. You went through a specific trauma for a reason. That trauma is here to become your reason of empowering your story, so you have a message to then solve other people's problems, so people don't feel so alone in this planet. And if you don't have my podcast, the Colleen Gallagher podcast, that is exactly why I created the podcast. You do not feel alone. And so going through this, basically, I guess to conclude what I want to say, or what's really important, is that things will get crazier. For sure. Yes, B Forrest, you know, I know, you know, but things will get crazier. And like the woman in my PhD class was like, who doesn't listen to mainstream media? It's because, but you can't be mad at her. You can't be argumentative. You just hold a space of compassion and it's silent. It's not like you do this for her. It's just silent in your heart. I send her so much love. I send her so much whatever. And I believe the right thing will come when it comes. And you just keep shining your light. You just keep communicating what you know to be true. And don't get so caught up in the like I said, the leakage, like, right, there's no, like, you can't just leak something. Like, even that wording is interesting. Like, there was someone who came in and punched a hole in the water bottle, and it was leaked, so there's more fear, there's more separation. Our job as a Lightworkers and Aliens, no matter what it is not to be so afraid of your trauma, of your story, and to let it become magical. I'm a Liverpool FC fan, and we sing You'll Never Walk Alone quite often. Good sentiment. Yes, James. I know, James, you've been on this path. But so that's what I wanted to say. I really wanted to come on and share that. I felt like it was really important. I felt like this was really on my heart and soul, because we've seen just so much with policy lately. And obviously I'm getting my PhD in psychology focused on global leadership and change. And the change starts with you. Everything is happening for the Great Awakening. Everything is happening for the ascension of the earth so that we can actually be where we're meant to be in the solar system. Everything that happens to you is happening for you. And only you can make that decision. And only you can be the leader to be that example to guide others to that awareness. So let me give you another example, and then I'll kind of leave it with this. So as you guys know, I have my new 2-month course called Energetic Connection. We start on Monday. I'm so excited. And this is the course for you if you really want to understand relationships and connection, you want to fall in love, and you want to just fall in love with life too. Like, I'm going to teach you all these tactics of how I alchemize and view the world this way and hold so much compassion and patience for where people are at. So this guy wanted to become a client of mine. And, you know, it was predominantly for relationships. And I gave him the, you know, amount that it is. And for that amount, he was like, well, how long has it been your relationships? And what's your longest relationship, personal, and this? And like, he got very defensive, right? And almost like he wanted my help. And then once I gave the investment point, he then was like, all the reasons we can't. So I was like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, I'm so busy. I'm this, I'm that, da, da, da. he's like, I said, I want to talk to the phone on you. Do I have to talk to the phone on you before I pay this? It's like, no, I don't do any sales calls. Like, I don't do sales calls. I don't connect with people. My clients meet me and they pay me. There's no like phone conversation before that. And so he made a narrative that you don't want to talk to the phone on me. You just expect me to pay you this money. And like that I must do like high ticket sales or whatever that it is, right? And he made this whole narrative, right? And his whole point of hiring me was he wanted to have relationships. And do you see how quickly his mind is stopping him from enrolling? Because he actually isn't committed to being supported. He actually isn't committed to opening his heart. He actually isn't committed to falling in love. Because if he was, he wouldn't be pushing me away. But his ego is so big, his protectors that are protecting him from feeling, protecting him from actually creating relationships. It's so much because who knows why? We'll never know. But it was so much that it pushed me away as the mentor to be like, you know what, this is why you don't have relationships, because I communicated something and then you're totally taking out of context, switching around and making an assumption that I'm taking high level sales or high ticket sales programs when I've never taken a high ticket sales program, actually. Like, no. So, and what you see is what you are. So I said, so that's obviously what you want to see. So that would be why you're not connecting. And you've asked me to be your coach. I'm holding you accountable to what you said before you even enrolled, like literally showing you an example of how I would be. And then he came up like, you lost an opportunity. And it's like, what opportunity? Like, you're not like, there's millions of clients, there's millions of people, there's millions of trillions of dollars. Like, you're not a lost opportunity. But what I want to say with abortion, right, with this is I don't want you to, how I'm relating with abortion, don't feel like an abortion or a relationship is a missed opportunity. If you were meant to have something, it will have. Like this story of how I birthed my daughter and how I will be adopting her. And you guys, like, it's so exciting. Even, it's not exciting this is happening with the Supreme Court, but I'm excited because the fact that my daughter's going to be birthed through another woman and I get to adopt her and this gets to be part of my life story. Like the fact that that gets to happen, it gets to happen in this time. I can't even imagine what energetic laws were going to be created of like, you literally can be the creator. You are the person who can have it all. You can be it all and it can be on your timeline. And I just want you to know, yes, there's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of arguments, a lot of men shouldn't have a say or whatever. It's not that men shouldn't have a say. I don't necessarily agree with that. It's just that if you're not in love, right, and your intention with someone is you're not with them and you're not in love, then you shouldn't be having a child, right? But if you're in love, then absolutely no matter what, you should be able to have a say in your co-created child. And it does really come back to the energetic frequency, right? Because laws are only created when we aren't being in alignment, when we aren't being congruent with as an energetic being. Laws are only there when that happens. Like, and I'm not gonna like say, but if I think about how many times, right, I've used substances, and I'm not gonna like, not extreme, but let's say, you know, like, I guess I could say it on here, but I've used like Coke or I've used MDMA. I'm not a cannabis person, but you know, that happens. Like those have been more the two that I've used, mushrooms, tea, whatever that it is. Like, right, I've never done that out of incongruency. I've never done it in a way like I'm selling or I'm using. I've never done it. Every time I've done it, it's been a very conscious, intentional space to time travel, to get lost in different dimensions. And you can do that with breath work. You don't need it. I just choose to use it as a supplement. But right, if it became incongruent, where I was addicted to it, if it became where I needed it, right, that would be an incongruency energetically, which would mean the law would need to step in. The same as with abortion. If you're doing what's right for you and you are living in an energetic alignment, there's no reason a law would need to come in. So it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't affect you. It does, but it doesn't, because your biggest connection, which is exactly what I'm covering, an energetic connection, my 2-month course that I highly recommend you getting into, is like how to stay in energetic connection with yourself. Because when you do that, I don't want to say you're untouchable. That's not the exact right word that I would use, but you have God on your side. And when you have God on your side and you have the universe on your side, everything realigns for you. Everything realigns for you. It does. And I've seen the miracles. And that's why people can say science. You can say, this is the equation of this mathematical thing. And Elon Musk are like, space travel for sure. Let's have scientists. But there also is a science in miracles. And there also is a science in beauty. And there also is a science in how I had an abortion and a being named Ella showed up through many different people, through many different incidences that I will be adopting. And there is that narrative. And so anyway, I've lots, I guess, to say, more than I thought I was going to. But yeah, any questions? I feel like I love like talking. So any questions, anything someone wants to say. But I hope this really supported you. And I want you to know, even if you're not ready to comment or reach out, I know what it feels like to be holding the pain of a lost relationship. I know what it feels like to be holding the pain of feeling like the world is not on your side. I know what it feels like to feel like the whole government is going to destroy everything and no one knows what's going on. I know what that feels like. And it just doesn't have to be that way. I want you to know that you are not alone. You are loved. You are seen. You are held. You are supported. And the biggest thing that I can offer you is to tune in to your energetic connection, become aligned. Where are you acting in life where you know you shouldn't be? Is that a job? Is it a relationship? Is it where you're investing your money? Is it people you should be listening to? Is it having a TV? Where are the things that you're showing up to your life, doing things you know you shouldn't be doing? Hey, Lucid. Because those things, that's going to be the biggest things. If you can pull those out of your life and begin to only do the things that you feel alive for, you feel excited for, then the things like the abortion that's going on in the federal case, or things like what's happening with the jab, the things happening like with men and women's rights, the things happening with, I don't want to say I'm not a minority, but the things happening with minority, those things don't begin to, our disability, those things don't begin to matter so much because you are with God, you are with energy, and energy is more powerful than law. It just is, because law only steps in when energy's out of alignment. And if you are in alignment, even if you're doing things, whatever that it is that by law it's not right, but you're doing it because it's what you're supposed to do, I promise you it will always work out. It just has to. It just does. So I think that's it. But I really wanted to have that conversation on abortion. It was important. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your kindness. And reach out. Definitely reach out if you ever need support. But get this book, An Uncompromised Life. Overcome heartbreak and trauma, experience the unexplainable, and truly fall in love. If you are looking for another narrative on overcoming heartbreak, on overcoming abortion, on overcoming loss of a relationship, on policy, on, anything, it really goes through all of that in this book. And you'll get to meet my daughter, or the soul of my daughter, Ella, who I know many of you have met. If you've read this book, you've experienced her because she's alive and well, and you get to meet her in the physical when she's born. Later this year, and when I adopt her late next year, 2024. So it's a beautiful story, and this is something that law can't bring. And it's not something that law can stop. Law can't stop creation. Law can't stop beauty. Law can't stop luxury. Law can't stop authentic truth, authentic love. It can't. It can't. And so, yeah. So also, if you want to go deeper on this work, I have like I said, 2-month course. Well, before that, if you also want to go deeper, I have a course or a workshop, that's called Overcome Heartbreak and Trauma and Experience the Unexplainable and Truly Fall in Love. It goes with this book. So it's a workshop. It's a 3-part workshop and this book. So I really recommend that if you're someone who's really suffering right now, you're in a lot of pain, and this whole thing with abortion and what's happening is really bothering you and activating you, and you're like, oh my God. Because I know what that feels like to be so frustrated. Trust me, I'm getting my PhD, and it has to do with organizational leadership and change and psychology. So I get it. Trust me, I really, really get it. This will bring you back to peace. This will bring you back to wellness, because we can't control the outside world. We can only control what's happening inside of here. And from us doing our part, the world around us changes. It's only from when we start here, the world changes. I didn't even know about this abortion thing till like 12 p.m. today. And that just shows I probably should have, because talk about this, but I didn't know about it. Because it's not my internal world. And if you want to go deeper, like I said, you want to really learn how to create relationships, energetic connections, energetic relationships where you really can fall in love with life, where everyone you meet around you just enhances you, irradiates you, expands you, excites you. My energetic connection course, it's 2 months, is going to start on Monday. This is an absolutely no-brainer offer. It's 8 weeks, 2 courses a week. Because it's a psycho up. Yes, exactly. I didn't want to go into that, but it is that in part. Okay, so hold on, let me finish this and let me go back to that. So my energetic connection, this is for you if you really want to fall in love. It's for you if you really want to be an alien and you want to create the most loving and epic relationships. You're tired of doing this life alone, because as aliens, we like to be alone, but we hate to feel alone. So this is how, as an alien, to still be super wise, super advanced, super whatever, but doing it from a place of calmness and relaxedness, instead of I wish everyone understood, listen, here's the conspiracy theories that are not conspiracy theories, and please just shut the fuck up and listen. Like this energetic course is for you if you can like do that. Because trust me, my business really changed when I stopped being so rampant like that. And I changed the navigation a little bit. I stopped being so like, I know the truth. Why don't you wake up? I changed, my reality changed, and this energetic connection course is for you so you can actually find love and communicate still the truth, but from a more compassionate, loving, and wise place. So 8 weeks, 2 calls a week. One is a lecture and one's embodiment practices, communication practices, dating, relationshiping. Sales is will even be good for sales. It gets really about communication. You get 24/7 access to me for the full 8 weeks. So you can ask me anything, give me updates, what's going on, show me your real communication so I can tell you where disconnection is happening, and how you can begin to connect back within. So your aura, right, is within, and then you can radiate it out from a better place instead of like scattered. Because I was very scattered when I first started my business. And then you get 4 one-on-one calls with me. It's $5,555. It is the best fucking $5,555 you are ever going to invest in your life. I'm going to tell you right now, if you do not invest in it, you're really silly not to. Like I've never offered something at this great with this much access and the many hours and the transformation that's going to occur for you as rapidly. Because the quality of your life is dictated by the quality of your communication, which dictates the quality of your relationships. So it's your choice. You're going to spend $5,555 in your life, no matter what. You're going to do it. You might as well spend it on something so the memories you're actually creating from here on forward are memories you want to remember, are memories you want to be a part of. They're not like, you're not just living like not proud of things. And I know what that feels like to give years of your life to be successful and have the achievement or like, know all the things about the world and the secret world and the undercover world, but like have no one to share it with. And it sucks. So this is for you. And then to come back to before, so cause it's a cycle op, yes. So the other thing that I want to share, I think you might have missed it if you were on here, but I did touch on it, but I'll touch on it again at the very end because I love being interactive with you guys. I love when you type and are being interactive. So this is part of the Great Awakening, right? As I shared, Earth is like a third world country if we have to metaphorically get this to make sense. And so we are, as light workers and aliens, here on a specific mission. Our whole purpose and as a light worker as an alien is to remember, to be a clear channel, to be a clear space to communicate so people can remember why they're also here, so we can awaken more people. So this, right, if you look at everything that's happened from BLM to the jab to, Western medicine to schools shutting down to, child sex trafficking to now, this that's going to be a big deal for the next few months, it's all a distraction to activate our nervous system. It's all a reason to basically have us turn against each other and more fighting argument, right? Because if people are operating in fear, you can't operate in fear and love at the same frequency. You can't. So if we can get more people in fear, then they can implement things because people aren't working together in unity. So I think you missed this part before us, right? I think you were on here. I think you might have like cut in and out, but anyway, I'll talk about it more just because you brought it up. But, so what we can do is what I said in this live of like what is abortion, what I went through, or if there's anything you've, gone through, or this is something near and dear, or it's a loss of a relationship, a frustration, or if you're a man who was on the other end, like the guy that I was, he didn't know about it. He had no say in it. And I'm not condoning, I'm not saying that it was right? But at the same time, he had ill intentions and he had another woman pregnant that he didn't tell me about. So I'm not condoning that, but also if you look at back to what I said, the law would only need to step in if 2 people were not energetically, if 2 people are not energetically congruent, right? And I was doing things that I didn't want to do and he was doing things he didn't want to do. So it canceled out. Like the law would have canceled out because we had 2 people doing things, right? Energetic law. So there's no law that needed to be brought in. Now law is brought in when one person is energetically congruent and one person's not, or 2 people are not being energetically congruent and they're not canceling out. But so this psycho op of what you said, yeah. So with this whole thing though, that everyone wants you to be distracted from purpose. The only thing you can do as a light worker, as an alien, as a thing, is your job is to go, interesting tabs on that. Here's my purpose. I'm going to commit more deeply to love, more deeply to presence, more whatever. You're not going to get involved in the back and forth that people are having. You're just going to go, wow. If someone comes and they're super intense and they're super rageful, in silence, sending them so much love, sending them so much compassion for their pain, for their whatever, because right, all that this whole thing that's happening right now, right, the abortion thing, all it is pro-life or not pro-life. What it is that people are in so much pain, right, which is what I said, people are in so much pain internally that they're going, I don't feel like I had an opportunity to live my life. So let me blame a woman, or let me blame a fetus, or let me blame abortion or non-abortion. But the truth of what's actually happening, if we have the emotional intelligence and cognitive abilities, people, what they really feel is, I don't feel like I ever had the opportunity to live my life. That is the truth beyond truth, beyond truth, beyond truth, mic drop. And so when you hear this and people are going insane about it, it's going, wow, I have so much compassion. And when you realize big things like this are happening in the world, like big exacerbated things in mainstream media or even radio or just thing is going, where is my part in this? Where is my part in the world blowing up like this? Where am I not giving myself the opportunity to live my truth? Am I working, like I said, at a job that I shouldn't be working at? Am I in a relationship I shouldn't be in? Am I not being honest where I need to be honest? Like, where inside of me am I needing to be more congruent? Where inside of me do I keep my energy squeaky clean so that I feel like I am I'm giving myself the opportunities in my life that I want to experience, right? That's what we can do as one person in this specific scenario. Let's say if it was the other scenario, health and wellness, it would be, okay, where am I not being healthy and well to myself? So this is now causing a global issue of health and wellness. Where is my part in not being healthy and well to myself, mentally, physically, whatever it is, and where can I be better at that so I can be a contributing factor, right? Because one person, you're not just one person. Each one person, if they thought they mattered, we'd have a different world. So what am I doing to contribute to this? And where can I be better? Just 1% better every day. Like I said, I just do if you just be 1% better every day, you're 365% better at the end of the year. 1% better. Can I pray a little bit more? Can I close my eyes a little bit more? Can I listen to my podcast, the Colleen Gallagher podcast? Can I be present with someone? Can I not engage in anger? Can I listen to like someone that's in my PhD class? And like, how do you not listen to mainstream media? And I go, wow, I send them so much love, right? Because she's being activated from the 440 hertz. So no wonder that's the response. So, let me see. Gardening and ballet and gym all day. I'm listening to, I love that. Bingo. Loco, love that. Exactly. And it really does matter in those things. So anyway, if you guys haven't bought the book, make sure to buy the book, Uncompromised Life. You can go to my website, Amazon, Target. Obviously, I'm going to say my website because I give you a signed copy and it's so beautiful. And then the workshop or energetic connection. And just comment below energetic connection. I will get you the details. $5,555 to totally change your motherfucking life on relationships, on being I'm being a light worker, and I'm literally owning the truth of who you are, but doing it from a place of peace, not so much anger and frustration. And that this is the one for you. Like I've never offered something like this. I've never had such a dynamic course where you literally are gonna be like real life practicing on me. Like if it's men and women, I'm literally going to have real life dialogue of you practicing on me as a woman, like how to communicate, how to practice. If you're a woman, we can do it on another man, or I can be a man. Like I can pretend like I know it because I know this so well. I know connection so well. I know it better than almost anyone in the world. I really feel that way. That's why I have endless amounts of connections, endless amount of heart, whatever. I really, really believe in this. It's a no-brainer offer. Like I said, you're going to spend $5,555 no matter what in your life. You might as well spend it on learning how to energetically connect so you create powerful allies, a powerful army, a powerful peaceful army that believes in the mission so that you are radiating with love, that you are radiating with compassion, so that when stupid things, I don't want to say stupid, but when things like this happen in the media that are like throwing us off, BLM, this, that, you're like, wow, that's so interesting. Let me just watch that pass by and stay so focused on my mission and commit more to who I'm meant to be and to commit more to what I'm meant to become and to activate more people, because that's what I'm here to do. Not get lost in the drama and the chaos. Whew. It's the best $5,555 you will ever spend. So anyway, message me, comment below, energetic connection. Like I said, if you went through something traumatic with a relationship or abortion, men or women, I've had men who are clients who went through this too. I know it's just as traumatic. Message me, comment. I love to hear things. It would mean the world to me if you guys watch this and you loved it, to share it or to tag a friend or share it with a friend who you know would need it. So with that, if there's no more questions, yes, and 555 is transformation, which is amazing. So with that, I love you guys. Live an uncompromised life.